I have made a decision. We are going to the Planet Fitness that's a little bit out of the way, but it's pretty close to us. And I'm choosing Planet Fitness over our regular home gym because regular home gym is under a bit of renovation. They have a lot of new equipment coming in, but that being said, right now there is almost no equipment in the gym. So, I mean, I guess that's what it is, you know, you just gotta roll with the punches. So I am gonna talk to the owner. We're gonna get all the right equipment in there pretty soon, but for this week, we're probably gonna be doing a lot of Planet Fitness workouts, and you know, tomato. I mean, all the gyms are pretty much the same. I mean, you have a few key differences, like, you know, Planet Fitness doesn't have any barbells, dumbbells only go up to 75 pounds, but for the most part, I mean, the machines, the equipment, everything is pretty much the same. I mean, the only trade-off that I would say is I want to be in some sort of bodybuilding environment, and that's the only thing that I would probably want at Planet Fitness. But if you're just trying to get a workout in, that works great. I mean, I gotta say, it's been very nice for convenience sake, and it's mainly for when I go to my parents' house, because, you know, they live 2 hours from here, and I go to, you know, a private gym, so they're not, they don't have it out there, and I need some sort of chain gym. But anyways, enough about me. We are headed to do some, I mean, I guess this is also about me, but it's so we're headed to do some good old-fashioned back and arms today. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and the reason why I chose this gym is mainly because of the equipment. I mean, I always prioritize, as much as I love y'all and I love doing these vlogs, I always prioritize the workouts themselves, because that's what's going to get me the most growth. And, you know, I can tell y'all about the workout rather than, you know, always recording it. So that being said, yeah, not much to add to that. Just we're gonna go freaking crazy on this back and arms day. I only have one. I don't even have like a true. I don't have just an arm day. So on these back and arm days, I really want to make the most of them. And you know, that's kind of a selfish reason, because arms they're just so fun to hit. I mean, for my physique, I know I'm not massive, and you know, depends on how you define massive too, but in the bodybuilding realm, I'm definitely on the smaller side. So arms though, that's probably one of my strong suits. It's one of the things that I don't need to hit extremely hard, you know, not as hard as like back or chest. I mean, even legs. Like I definitely want to make sure that I'm bringing those points up as well. But I don't know, I just like hitting arms. You know, you have your favorite muscle groups that you hit, and it's all fine and dandy. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I think we're definitely going to be starting the day off with some sort of upper forearm, lower forearm action, you know, just to kind of get everything revved up and just ready. And then we're going to be probably going into our back movements, and then finishing off with some arms. And I really like that setup, because it kind of, I like doing the forearms first, because you can hit forearms pretty easily. I mean, they're oh man, I don't know where I'm going. I think, oh crap, I thought Watt was this way. I'll check back in with y'all. I need to check where I'm going, so peace. All right. right, so it turns out we were going the right way. Man, what threw me off is there were just a lot of streets that I had heard of before, but, you know, didn't recognize, so it didn't seem like we were going in the right direction. But, anyways, I like starting off with forearms because it's nice to it's almost like hitting calves before a workout. You know, like before the rest of your workout, I should say. Because if I can get the most out of my forearm work, which I definitely need more forearms, then, you know, I can make the most of the workout itself. So, that being said, it's nice to, you know, have a pull day, but then right before that pull day, doing some sort of forearm work. And then that way you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the concentric, eccentric strength from actually working them, and then you get the isometric strength from the stability you need in those back movements and the other arm movements, like the bicep and tricep movements. So that's pretty much why I really like hitting them. But okay. Man, I'm not familiar with this part of the city. So I'm just making sure that I'm in the right place. I want to make sure that we're not. Yeah, there it is. All right. But yeah, I mean, man, nothing really to add there other than the meditations. Awesome. They are definitely adding to overall mental clarity, of course, concentration, and just my overall cognition has developed pretty dramatically, I've noticed. I mean, it's almost like I can articulate my words a little more smoothly. You know, my vocabulary has, or I should say the awareness of, shout out, the awareness of my vocabulary and what I'm truly capable of has increased. And so if I had to choose, I mean, and of course, like I would never want to choose this, but if I had to choose meditation or exercise, I mean, even the literature is pointing to this form of meditation. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I mean, you just get so many benefits from it. And if you don't believe me, look up the plus 400 peer-reviewed studies on Transcendental Meditation. I'm not talking about any other kind of meditation. I'm talking about Transcendental Meditation. There is some true potential with this form of meditation. And it's been around for a while. I think it started, you know, early to mid 1900s. And so, you know, it's interesting how it's just not more well known. So I guess that's a big reason why I do this vlog, is to kind of increase the awareness of Transcendental Meditation, and then I guess just the way that I do bodybuilding. But anyways, not much to add there. I'll see y'all inside. No.
But the people don't allow for the music. Oh yeah, the hospital around But he did talk to me. It's crazy that you're like, you know, when somebody called you out.
Alright, so we're pulling back on a little bit of the heavier base sets. You know, it's kind of nice to start off with it, but to keep it going all the way throughout, I mean, that's almost like a powerlifting peak week. So, I mean, you know, same style, not the same lifts, but that being said, we're finishing off just a little bit lighter squeezing sets, and yeah, I mean, again, we were supposed to do T-bar row, but I don't know. We can always compromise with some type of row. I mean, it's, you know, we're probably not going to get as much upper back activation, but that's why we're probably going to do some sort of like Yates row or like a shrug on those shoulder days, just to kind of compensate for what we're not hitting. So that being said, let's squeeze. No. Oh my God. Oh. Perfect. Alright, so here's a good hack if you don't have a preacher curl available, which I do, but it's one of those things like I can get into a little bit better position with this, with the preacher curl that I have available, or compared to the preacher curl I have available, but it's kind of nice because you'll see in a second, but you can kind of position it to wherever you're going to get the deepest stretch. So it's a little bit, you know, it's weird when you see it at first, but and you've probably seen it before, but I don't know. If you only have a cable and you don't have a preacher curl, this is a good hack. Alright, specialty movement. We're gonna do it a little lighter on this one because I went pretty heavy on the last few sets. I mean, the main thing is I want to keep all the tension on my triceps, or at least most of it, because notice if I kind of get in the habit of just doing heavy sets, the tension transfers from my tricep to my shoulder. So I kind of mitigate that as much as possible, but let's finish off the triceps. Nine. Nine. 10. Come on. Nine. Come on. Oh my God. Alright, so gotta say this is one of the nastiest pumps I think I've ever had. But that being said, it's one thing to feel it, but let's see how it looks. Alright, so this is brought to you by big ol' refeed meal last night and just a nice back and arms workout. So everything just feels pumped, kind of in the right places, you know. Funny bone. Alright. I gotta get to an appointment, but overall, solid back and arm session. Tomorrow, legs is gonna be fun, but I'll see y'all in the car. Then, awesome. I mean, that's a freaking win. The other thing that, I mean, sorry if I'm panting a little hard right now. I'm kind of, not so much in a rush, but we just finished up with the workout and the posing, so you know I'm a little out of breath. But anyways, I don't know if y'all heard, but it's not so funny, but there was a fight in the middle of the gym. I think it was when I was doing my upper and lower forearm, or yeah, I think it was when I was doing my first superset of the entire workout. There was just this huge fight that broke out. I mean, it was between these two guys mainly, and one of them was all tatted up, shirtless, and you know, he didn't seem like he started it. This other guy that he was fighting with, who was, you know, just kind of wearing a jacket, he was the one who seemed like he started it and kind of kept it going. I mean, they were both keeping it going, but that was freaking wild. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen a full fight in the middle of the gym, because for me, that's like the last place that you'd want to start a fight. I mean, you're surrounded by all these people who are freaking jacked. Like you wouldn't want to, I mean, I'm not saying like all of them are fighters, you know, because being jacked and being able to fight are two totally different things. But I mean, I don't think you'd want to tussle with people who are just bigger than the average population, you know. So that was very interesting to see. Also, before this at work, you know, I substitute teach at all these different schools. There was also a fight there. I mean, it wasn't as crazy, but this one, yeah. I mean, there was those two guys mainly, and then the cop showed up just to kind of keep everything subdued. So I was pretty grateful for that. But there was also, I don't know what was going on, but there was this woman who seemed pretty freaked out, and I think one of the guys was following her, and so, you know, there were a lot of people just kind of keeping a lookout in the middle of their sets. Like, I mean, I think everybody just stopped working out at that point just to kind of see what was going on. But that was scary. So she was calling somebody probably to come pick her up, or, you know, to come at least be with her, you know, just to make sure that she was all right. So I hope she's all right, and I hope they resolved whatever was going on. But you could probably hear it. I mean, I know I had the mic on, so it kind of muffles out all the background noise, but I don't know. I'd go back to that upper forearm, lower forearm set and just see if you can hear it, if you're interested. But anyways, other than that, we're on our way. We're getting a plasma donation in, and then, I don't mean to brag, but my gym owner, or I guess my boss, you know, I work at this gym. My boss is shooting this movie, and I mean, he asked all the employees to be in on it, so I'll be a coach in there, you know, just in my natural habitat. But that'll be pretty fun. I don't really know what to expect, but I mean, he said, yeah, we'll just do it during your shift today, or shift tomorrow, because we were talking yesterday, and I was like, sure, let's shoot a movie while I'm working. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it. So that's kind of in the works. But other than that, man, I don't know. Everything, like I said in a few videos ago, everything just seems to be getting better. It seems like it's not so much of an upward trend, but it's more like I'm getting closer to the center, you know, if that makes any sense. Like I can see everything just a little bit easier. It's because we'll always have our ups and downs. We can't really control much of our external environment, and if you can, let me know. But if you can't really control your external environment, might as well control your internal. And I think the easiest way to do that is to just find your center, stick with it. Easier said than done, 100%. And I would say the sole reason why I've become better and better at that, it's a combination of things, but I'd say a huge reason is the fact that I meditate. The Transcendental Meditations really come into play, and it's really easy because all you have to do is just, personalize your own mantra, ChatGPT, descriptions below if you don't want to do that, and then from there, you just practice. That's that's the only thing. It's like same thing with working out. If you want to grow muscle, train. So meditation, same exact thing. If you want to find your center mentally and physically, I'm a lot more relaxed, I would say, just because it's easy. You have one personalized mantra that works for you based on whatever your goals are, and you stick with it. So, meditations have been phenomenal. They're easy. It's funny. It's like I kind of have this glazed look over my eyes, almost like I'm high all the time. But it's more, it really is just bliss. Like that's like the best way I can describe it. And I know that sounds corny, but it's one thing to talk about it, and then it's another thing to feel it. So my biggest suggestion would be to try it first, and then, have your judgments and not even judgments, just opinions about it, And so, that's it. That's pretty much it. I'm just really enjoying it. Other than that, man, what else am I doing? Bodybuilding journey has been going great. That's the other thing I wanted to bring up. We're probably going to be doing some sort of a mini cut next week because it just works out that way. I've been noticing I've been getting just a little chunky, and so texting my coach about it. He's awesome. He accommodates whatever I want. Literally, like it's like you want to build muscle and lose fat at the same time, but just a little bit of the losing fat piece. Let's do it. And I'd say that's kind of like a really good way to describe how to build muscle and lose fat. It's not do this and it will. It's a spectrum, right? Like you're gonna have, like, I'd say your ideal range, if you're a guy, is anywhere between like 10 to 15% body fat. And if you can stay within that range and grow muscle, you're gonna have a great time when it's time to lean out. That's just the reality of it, because the more you have to lean out, man, it's just it's a lot more suffering. That's it. At the end of the day, like you're gonna have to diet and have those days of hunger a lot more, just because that's just how it is. But that I'd say is like ballpark range 10 to 15% for guys, and for women I would probably say, like, because they have to have a little more fat, just because that's how their system works. I'd probably say like anywhere, man, and I know I'm a dude, so it's like who is he to tell me? But I'm just going off of what I've read, realistically what I've seen on ChatGPT and in literature. I'd probably say like around 24% body fat. Like that's ideal, because you actually look at it, and women or ladies who are just like around 24% body fat, they look pretty freaking lean. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And so if you can grow muscle in that sweet spot, like around that, you're golden. That's you're just gonna have a lot easier time leaning out when it's time to lean out. But that being said, it's gonna be interesting going on this leaning out process, because I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting one, because the last time I did it, I was prepping for like a Tahoe trip, just because I haven't competed since last year in November, and that's on purpose, obviously. Like, I'm really trying to grow in this off season. So this off season could be 1 year, it could be 2 years, it could be 3 years. I mean, I don't know. I'm just going until I'm comparable with the guys on the national stage, like the number one guy, like in my class on the national stage. That's what I'm looking at. And I should probably look across classes, because you can kind of see trends and similarities, because you have a lot bigger sample size. So that's what I'm going to be looking at. And if my size is comparable, that's when we go compete. But I'm going to have to be a lot bigger than them in the off season, because once I lean out, man, I learned this the hard way. You lose a lot of the size you thought you had, because a lot of that was, fat and water and like all these different things that make you look bigger than you actually are. So that being said, you got to be a lot bigger in the off season in order to, be comparable on stage. So that's going to be interesting once I get back into it, man. I think other than that, I don't know. Like I definitely went over 15% in this off season. I'm probably sitting at like, if I had to guess, probably like 16, 17 right now. So it's just a little over, but I definitely want to be preventative about it. I want to make sure that we're not getting too fat. So we're probably going to lean out. If I had to guess, maybe for the next 6 to 8 weeks, but that doesn't mean we stop growing muscle. I mean, we're still going to grow muscle. We're just going to be a little more on the losing fat side of the spectrum for growing muscle, because that's my thing. I'm a hard gainer, so I have to eat a ton in order to grow muscle. And I mean, that's just the reality of it. It's kind of, I mean, you could say it's a pain, but everyone's got their own thing. So I'm just glad that my thing is that I get to eat a ton. That's a pretty good perspective. And I wouldn't say I'm a complete hard gainer, but I'd say like on the spectrum, I'd say I'm like, I don't know, like this is all just kind of made up in my mind, but I would say I'm like in between hard gainer and medium, like right in between. Like, here's hard gainer, here's not so hard gainer. I'm probably like a quarter of the way from hard gainer. So that being said, I still, I obviously can gain fat. So that's just one of those things. I gotta pull it back just a little bit, or I gotta let my coach know, because I might have had like one too many refeed meals, and that's whoa, we were getting in the lane at the same time. But yeah, I might have had one too many refeed meals. That's all good. I mean, I'll just know that probably once every 2 weeks is a good starting point. And I don't even want to like make it a point to have a refeed meal, but it's a nice psychological break, because you're eating the same thing over and over and over and over again, or at least, similar things over and over again. And I was thinking about this earlier, but the most successful bodybuilders that I've seen can do the really boring, simple stuff longer than everybody else. Sebum, I mean, you look at his story, just his life story, and in college, I mean, he had his first, he was saying something along the lines of the first part of college, a very small part of it, he was, drinking a ton, partying, whatever else, regular college stuff. That's kind of a norm in college. And it didn't take him very long for him to, have to choose between his goals and just getting plastered with his friends, So he had to make that decision, and he made it pretty quick, obviously, because he turned pro at 21, and then he won 6 Classic Physique Olympia titles. So that's really impressive as far as his decision making at such a young age. He had to make that decision. Are you gonna focus on bodybuilding, or are you gonna go the other way and just party with your friends? So it's examples like that where, I mean, that's pretty true in any case. In another field, Alex Ramosi, I mean, he's I want to call him the king of business, but he's very much the same, just in a different field. That's why he's so successful. He can put out content, high quality content, consistently. He puts out high quality ads consistently. He gives overall value extremely consistently, and so much so that it would be unreasonable that he would be successful. And I think that's kind of the moral of the story. You do something so much so that it's unreasonable that you would be successful in that thing. So that's kind of my thing in balancing meditation and bodybuilding, where you kind of have these two sides to the same coin, and one of them obviously is physical, one of them is mental. And so when you kind of become obsessed with doing the boring, simple stuff of both of these, man, you will be one happy, jacked individual. And I'm not saying, I mean, I would say of the normal population, I'm above average. I'm probably not the best at the moment, obviously not in bodybuilding, and obviously not in meditation, so I'm not. But my heart, my ego, no. It's but I mean, it's man, I would say I'm definitely above average. So that's a good starting point. But man, it's just one of those things. I don't know. But that being said, man, I got really nothing to add to that other than have a peaceful, blessed, amazing, movement-filled day, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow for, oh yeah, a big old leg session.